Okay, so I wanted to talk today about getting started with healing with medical medium information. So I healed from over a decade struggling with schizoaffective disorder, and it was a pretty serious mental illness. I ended up living in a group home at one point and really struggling. And I eventually found this information, the only pure source of health information that tells you what's actually causing the symptoms and gives you protocols and tools to pull out of it. So I wanted to go over some of the basic, simple tools to get started. There's some things that you can do relatively inexpensively initially. Um, you could start listening to the podcast episodes. You could start watching testimonials, reading the blog articles, some basic things with food. So just shifting your diet around a little bit where you're getting your calorie sources. So you can shift from calorie sources with toxic ingredients to calorie sources with less toxic ingredients, such as bananas and potatoes. Those are both good calorie sources, relatively inexpensive. You could buy a lot of bananas, a lot of potatoes, bring those calories into your diet and remove some of the other calories relatively inexpensively. And that also helps you lower the fat, because lowering the fats is going to help with the healing. There's many reasons high fat diets cause us to run on adrenaline. Um, it makes it harder to get the toxic heavy metals out, and it allows pathogens to thrive more easily. So there's definitely things to be doing initially that's low cost. But one of the most important tools, medical medium tools for my healing to do regularly with mental illness symptoms would be the celery juice. So millions of people around the world have been juicing celery every day since the first book came out in 2015. There's been a huge wave. There was like celery shortages. It's the number one produce crop now, celery, because so many people are juicing it and healing. So I wanted to talk about getting started with juicing celery. I've been juicing celery every day for 9 years now. And what I do, so I have a BJ's in my area. It's a wholesale club, so you may have like a Costco or Sam's Club or BJ's or something in your area. This one in particular is $55 a year, which is about 15 cents a day. So what I do is I buy their organic celery hearts. It's 3 bunches in a bag for $3.99. So with the annual membership, it comes out to about $28 a week. They also have the conventional celery, which has a little bit more in there for $4.99. So you can end up saving a little bit of money each day. And juicing conventional is actually still beneficial. It's still going to outweigh any harm from the pesticides in it or whatnot. So depending on your financial situation, I know a lot of people with mental illness, finances are an issue. That's been a challenge for me, resources. I've had to make sacrifices. I've had to really focus on the healing tools and cut out the other things in my life, vices or whatnot. So there's another store near me. They offered 2 bunches for $4.99, so it's more expensive. And the ones at my local store have not been as fresh. So that's why I've been going to the BJ's here, 3 bunches for $3.99, better deal. Aldi's is a low cost store. They're offering one organic celery heart for $2.45, so that's about $4.90 for 2 bunches, which is a little bit cheaper than the Stop and Shop. But the point is, you can visit your different local stores, find a good supplier of celery, and come up with a plan. So for this one, $28 a week. What I would do is, if it were me just starting out, I would look at my expenses and my income, and I would create a budget. So I would say, I'd write down a budget of everything that I'm spending, and I would find a way to allot $28 in this case for celery each week, and I would come up with a plan. And just the excitement of knowing an answer now and knowing that there's a path forward and there's a way to heal, just that hope and that excitement can be your kind of fuel initially, your inspiration initially, while you're working towards bringing in more tools, in this case, the celery juice. So, so I would find out a way to budget $28 a week. And then what I would do is I would start saving up for this juicer. This is the best celery juice there is, the Omega MM900. It's a little expensive, so but they do sales a few times a year. So I would subscribe to their newsletter here, put my email in, subscribe to their newsletter, and I would start saving $28 a week towards this juicer. And I would basically, I'd be running on the hope and inspiration of having an answer now, knowing that I can heal, knowing it's not my fault. And I'd be putting that money aside to save up for this juicer. Then when they ran the sale, I'd purchase the juicer. And then that $28 I was saving up for the juicer would then be going towards my celery. Then I'd get a level up because I'd be getting that celery juice in every day, at least 16 ounces of fresh celery juice on an empty stomach with nothing else in it. So you can't add water, lemon juice, ice, anything in it. It has to be fresh on an empty stomach every day, and they have to wait, half hour before eating. And so that way, you level up. Then once you're getting those benefits of that celery juice, you're getting the electrolytes, neurotransmitter chemical builders. The celery contains the trace minerals, the building blocks of the neurotransmitter chemicals that strengthen our nervous system, start healing our nervous system, start knocking down the viruses that cause depression, anxiety symptoms. They help flush out toxins. So it's going to start helping improve the symptoms and strengthening your nervous system. And then from there, you're doing that every day consistently for a long time while implementing some of the healing information with diet, such as lowering the fats, cutting out eggs and dairy and gluten that feed the viruses and the pathogens. Then I'd start working towards bringing in more tools. So, I'd be doing the meditations, the free meditations on the Medical Medium podcast on the evenings. So, you can find them. You can find them on the Medical Medium podcast here on the website. He has free meditations. I'd be doing one of those every evening. I'd be learning the information, and I'd be working to find a way to bring in the next tool, which would be the heavy metal detox smoothie. That's another critical tool for mental illness because it helps take those toxic heavy metals out of the brain, the mercury, which contributes to the symptoms, and in my case, psychosis, big factor in psychosis. So another thing, if you didn't want to wait for the Omega juicer, what you could do is you could find a cheaper juicer. Here on Amazon, there's a couple for like $100. I spent the first couple of years juicing with like one of those metal basket juicers that just spins and like scorches the celery and kind of denatures it a little bit. I did that for the first couple of years before I ended up buying an Omega slow masticating, which it basically just squeezes the celery. It doesn't heat it up, and you get more celery juice out of it because it squeezes more out of it. So however you want to do it, if you want to start sooner rather than later, or if you want to if you have enough motivation to in the moment to keep going to save up for the more expensive juicer. So it's up to you, but the point is coming up with a plan. Now that you have an answer, now that you know what's causing the symptoms and there's a way out, it's systematizing a plan within your resources and your budget to climb out of it. And it's a long road, so expect to be on this healing path for a while, a number of years. I didn't really start to feel really great until about 3 years after following this information. So if resources aren't an issue for you, God bless you. I would, bring in all the tools you can. Bring in the celery juice right away, the heavy metal detox smoothie right away, some of the supplements, the recommended supplements. You could buy all the books. Just, go for it. But, a lot of people struggling with mental health, mental illness symptoms, resources, and issues. So we have to find a way to survive and manage our finances in a way that we're being efficient and that we're growing and we're leveling up over time. On the Medical Medium website, here there's a celery juice tab. So there's all these different resources here about celery juice, FAQs. There's some videos. So you can learn all about it. You can learn about how it helps with symptoms and the importance of it, and you could have that knowledge to keep inspiring you and keep you going. There's also the celery juice book. It's one of the cheapest Medical Medium books. It's like less than $11 here on Amazon. that has some great resources. There's a great chapter at the end about healing, and it helps, when we're gaslit a lot, when we have mental illness diagnosis, we're blamed for it. We're told our mind's doing it. People around us think it's our character. We're just weak or we're just faulty. So this Celery Juice book has a chapter on healing, the healing movement, and how we get almost like bullied. Even when you start to heal, people are not going to really seem to care. They're not going to really, they're not going to be that supportive necessarily of you following this healing path, because all the trendy information out there contradicts the truth of the situation, which is why people are getting sicker and sicker. The trends aren't helping people stay healthier, even though people are eating less processed foods. They're eating cleaner, they're exercising. The world is still getting sicker and sicker rapidly, younger and younger. So it helps to have those words in the book to stay inspired and motivated and encouraged. So yeah, it's a wonderful thing to have answers. When I first got sick and I didn't have answers, it took me 12 years before I found the medical community information, and it took a lot out of me. I tried going back to school multiple times. I tried many different jobs. I kept starting and stopping things. I was exerting all this wasted energy and effort. And when you have the information of the real answers and a path, then you're focused. You could focus your energies and your efforts, and it makes all the difference. And once I found the medical community information, I was able to climb out of the illness, consistently stay consistent with it over the years, and heal. I've been medication free for over 11 years now, healed from schizoaffective disorder. That's unheard of or extremely rare. I haven't heard of many people who have done that, who have healed from that level of illness, and fully healed. So whatever symptoms you're dealing with, there's hope. There's a path. There's answers now. Celery juice is one of the main tools to start with and work towards implementing that into your life, building a foundation. That's an anchor to your healing path, that daily celery juice, and then you can start bringing the other tools. So God bless you. I wish you well on your journey. Take care.